All right, welcome to something more of something more, a little extra for you. I'm here with Mike Byrnes of Byrnes Consulting. We were talking about all kinds of great ideas and techniques that can help you to extend your branding and your marketing efforts. And we were talking about all kinds of good stuff on the show. If you caught the show, things about Facebook and Twitter and so forth. But so, Mike, I heard you use the term newsjacking, and as a great idea, as a way for people to have suggestions for content. What is that? And I think a lot of times people do kind of wonder, what should I talk about on a post to try to get people's interest or attention? So maybe talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, basically marketing, it can be hard to get exposure. So if you piggyback on something that's already popular, something that's in the news, you can jump on board with that and then have your own twist. You're more likely to get exposure. So whether it's on a radio program, whether it's in print in a magazine or newspaper, or just something even on social media, people will be more likely to want to check out your stuff if it's timely and has something connected to what's going on in the world.
Yeah, so the key, I guess, then is just getting started, and there's always something you can talk about. So in getting started, where do you suggest people first focus their energies? What avenues, let's say in terms of social media, might people look to?
So which social network, for example?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
It really depends on your target market. If your target market is the next generation, they're already using social media, so you can really use pretty much any. Depends on what you're trying to do. LinkedIn, for example, yeah, that's a great way to connect with professionals.
Business to business or professionals type of thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's a lot of different job seekers can use it too. If you're trying to make a personal connection, so if you're a company and you want your brand personality to come across, a tool like Facebook is fantastic for that because it can show people more about your corporate culture. If you're philanthropic at all, that's something that's great. Humor is fantastic. Chris was making people laugh, I'm sure, on the radio today, and so listening in on the radio, that kind of stuff is fantastic.
So when does someone use something like Twitter, for example, as compared to those others?
We talked about on the program today that Twitter is an amazing news feed. So if you're not using Twitter, the first thing to do is just sign up and follow thought leaders, news sources, celebrities, whatever is of interest to you. If you're already using it, start to think of ways to share about your organization or about yourself. And what are those things that you want your followers to know about you? We also joked on the radio today, don't be that sales guy. If you're at a cocktail party and someone's just talking about themselves all the time, guess what? No one at the end of the party, no one's going to be talking to that individual.
Don't always be the guy talking, always business.
Right. The way to be successful is to interact. And so ask questions, engage with people. Don't just be a salesperson. Don't just push your stuff.
So part of that engaging is finding out about what interests other people, maybe as it relates to something that is your product or service kind of area, but not necessarily promoting your product or service.
Right. And social media can be a really valuable research tool. It's a market research in some ways. So the most important person for any business is your client or your customer, and you can learn so much about them through social media if you connect with them and get to know what they're talking about, what the buzz is. And even if there are people out there complaining and unhappy, that's a great client service opportunity.
Yeah, there's some great examples of that. Historically, people have been able to turn it around into something that's more constructive and turns that what could have been a bad experience into a positive experience.
Right. You always hear the negative news.
Hard to do.
Right, it is. But if you have the right strategy, I was going to say negative news travels 10 times as fast. But if you can take someone that was a complainer and turn them into your advocate where they're raving about you, wow.
That can travel fast too.
Yeah, that's the kind of salesperson you want, and you don't have to pay them. You just have to fix the problem.
Yeah. So now, in terms of other types of social media, we talked a little bit about YouTube, and I know Vimeo is another video type. There's probably others that I don't know about, but these are things that people can also utilize as a way to extend their reach and talk to other businesses or individuals who might like to find their information.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of times the best thing to do is not necessarily to try to talk about your product, but as much as about things that might help people in evaluating what is the best service or product for them. Educate people, right?
Right, especially with professionals. If you don't have a video strategy, you're really dropping the ball because people want to know who they're going to hire before they ever get to know that person or before they bring them on. So it's a great way to show your expertise. It's also another great way to show your brand personality. Like people watching this video probably can get to know a little bit about us
feel for you,
without without meeting us in person. Maybe they don't want to meet us after this, but
hopefully not.
But that's the point. You know, you're really videos are popular.
Why does one use Vimeo versus YouTube? It has to do with length, right?
Yeah, you know, the one thing about YouTube is it's blowing away the competition right now.
Yeah.
So you can put your video out anywhere, and there's tons of different ways to do it.
YouTube is where people go.
Yeah, it
first
still is. I think Facebook's number 2,
Yeah.
and people watch videos through Facebook.
There, yeah.
But it's a distant number 2. So,
is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I would have thought that would have been quite common because it seems like if people have something on video, oftentimes they post it on Facebook or something like that. But I guess not as much, maybe. It's only some of the time that they're posting, huh?
The number one thing that's shared on Facebook, believe it or not, in most ways, are pictures. So pictures are really popular with, and you know, Instagram. That's obviously why Mark Zuckerberg made that decision to buy that firm. But pictures, we're in this information overload we talked about on the show today, where we can't read everything anymore.
Right.
So you know, the old "a picture tells 1,000 words" is so true.
Yeah.
And you can get that message across quick.
So are people using something like Instagram for commercial purposes in terms of trying to further a message?
They are. They're figuring that out. People are stumbling over this because they've always used words, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So this multimedia thing is different for people. The one real interesting one that I saw was a menu at a restaurant, and they had an Instagram thing on there. If you like this food, take a picture of it and share it on Instagram. Now imagine that. Like,
that gets your mouth watering.
500
right?
people see a picture of a chicken parm. Like, where am I going to go eat? I'm going to go eat at that restaurant.
Yeah,
right?
That's good. That's good. All right. Any other little tidbits that we should remember?
No, this is great. I really appreciate you having me on the program.
Same here. Thanks for being here. So if you want to learn more, you can always check out Mike's great resources on ByrnesConsulting.com. And then what are some of your other ways people can find you?
Yeah, I was joking on the show today. If you can spell Byrnes, Byrnes.
Oh, thanks.
Mike Byrnes, you can find me. You know, if you search me, my name will pop up.
Great. So. All right, and of course, thanks for watching. Do share this little video maybe on Facebook. Share it with other people so that they will come and join our page. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep striving for something more.